And we're live. Are you a candy guy?
I'm a big candy guy.
You are?
Yeah, I'm a big candy.
What do you feel? I wish I was more of a candy guy. I'm not a candy guy at all.
It's a gift and a curse, more so a curse because it can lead to diabetes.
Candy like brings you happiness?
It brings me joy.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I keep it out of the house. And Halloween is like, I feel like basically like a reformed crackhead, you know?
Are you one of these people? Because I was like this. I feel like my mom was like this growing up, where she just didn't keep junk food in the house.
Nah.
She was just like, we can't keep it here.
You're lucky.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You got a lot of junk food?
complete and total opposite, yeah.
One time I met this girl who told me that she grew up on like frozen dinners. I was like, damn. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was just like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I ain't frozen
dinners is wild.
It's insane. Like, my mom, she was an old traditional Dominican woman. She was cook every night. And on Fridays, we ordered Chinese food. That was the plan. Yeah. She cooked every night, and then she was just like, I'm not cooking Friday. Like, that was the rule. So Friday she'd order us Chinese food. But every night we would cook. I mean, I never had a frozen dinner in my life.
Damn.
Have you?
Yeah, I've had a frozen dinner, especially like in college.
Yeah.
You know, but
what was it?
Like, what was it? Hungry Man XL? You never seen the commercial?
But like, it's like mashed potatoes, fried chicken, and corn.
Salisbury steak.
Oh my God.
It was terrible.
Dude, I mean, I've had a frozen pizza. I do that.
DiGiorno?
Yeah, like I had DiGiorno.
No, that's clutch.
Even in college, I've had like Tostinos. I don't know if you count that as like frozen dinner, but like a frozen like Salisbury steak.
You gotta in the plastic before you microwave it. Yeah,
bro. I get in college, whatever. But imagine like growing up, and it wasn't even like because some people grow up on it just because, you know, the family might not have the money. Like
that's a part.
And those could be, you know, cheaper. But this girl, it was not the money.
Yeah.
She had the money.
That was just
just what her family fed her.
Wow.
The Hungry Man dinner.
Hungry Man XL.
XL, bro.
Yeah, and then it had the little.
I think one time my mom had one of those, like they gave it away at
work.
Used to go to like church and they would give away like food. So she came home with like a Hungry Man, whatever. And she was like, I remember she didn't want to cook that night. She was like, oh, just warm one of these up. And I warmed it up. And I was like, this is insane. Like, it was like fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn with like a gravy. But it's like, you could never get the chicken to feel right.
Nope.
Like, it don't feel right. It feel like weirdly wet and red in the inside. It's just no good.
But then they had the dessert brownie in the corner. So how do you microwave in a whole 3-course meal?
This is like airplane. Like, this is what they do on airplane.
That's what they do. Do you know airplane? I know you've been raw dogging. Are you still raw dogging?
No, I've been raw dog. I haven't done a long flight recently. I came back from LA. When I came back from LA, but it was a red eye, so it was no. But that one I watched the movie. I watched Goodfellas on the ride back. I think I spoke about that. But isn't it? I think it's funny that now, I remember when you used to fly on airplanes, like, and you would pick a movie, the movie would be edited to the PG-13 version of it because you're watching it on a flight. And now they don't do that. Like, you could just watch the movie. So I'm flying and I'm watching Goodfellas and the guy's getting like his face beaten.
Yep.
And I'm looking around like, hey, this is good stuff.
This is what I'm watching on a red eye from LA.
Yeah, but I eat on a flight. Especially if I'm in first class, I'll eat something. But I have a thing. I don't eat cheese. It's just not a food that I enjoy. And now I feel like, dude, people put cheese in a meal as if it's like the most common thing that everyone. People behave as if salt. People behave as if cheese is something that like everyone eats and loves. And I have trouble with that because I'm like, this is so unfair. Like, I've been on flights where sitting in first class and they're like, oh, both the dishes are cheese dishes. I'm like, what? Like, this is insane. And just to be clear, I don't buy first class tickets. I get upgraded because I'm a medallion member. So I don't want people thinking I come from a long line of first class money.
Gold medallion?
Yeah.
Elite?
No, platinum.
Elite platinum. Oh, okay. Sky Priority?
Yeah, I got all that.
Very key.
Sky Priority, Clear Plus. Do you know what the best thing is now though?
What's that?
Above that is
TSA pre-check with Clear?
No, that's like for the common folk. But Delta has digital ID.
That's so clutch.
Cool. You don't gotta pull anything out. No ID, no boarding pass. Just scan
and go.
You walk right through. Some people's like, oh, I don't want them to have my face. For what? No one cares about your face.
That's number one. Number two, they have your face anyway. If you have a smartphone, they have your face.
People think that some people have this idea that the government or whoever the powers that be cares about them and having their information and they're tracking me. No one's tracking.
Nobody's tracking.
They're not.
Maybe your girl.
Your girlfriend is tracking you.
She's definitely tracking you.
You know, but other than that, no one's tracking you.
I have to interject right here.
Please.
We were talking about the airlines and flying and airline meals. I firmly stand in this, and we've said it before, but I don't think that heterosexual males should be flight attendants. I don't know if I'm gonna get killed for this, but that's just my perspective. And I was on a flight this morning, coming back from Arizona, hence the Suns jersey. Shout out to everybody in the AZ. And it was a dude that, like, first of all, don't be having no fade with a beard, bro. Like, you're sending off a wrong message. You're sending off, like, if something goes off, I'll fight one of the customers. So that's number one. Number two, when you're walking on the plane, it's early in the morning, you want to, good morning, hello, how you doing? I don't
want any of that, but I can see how other people,
right? Yeah. But I don't want to
say shit to me, but I can see what you're saying.
I don't want to, yo, what's good, bro? Hold on.
Yeah.
He
broed you?
What's good, bro?
He broed you?
I don't need that at 6:35 in the morning when I'm getting on the flight.
I mean, I think you bring up a good point. Certain jobs, and this isn't even like, it's not even hate. Certain jobs, gay men just perform better. Like they're just more equipped
for that.
Yeah, they're more personable. They're more, it's a better thing. So you don't like the familiarity.
I don't like it at all.
Out the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's too early, you think?
It's way too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. I don't mind. Look, if you recognize me, you always got a free pass to say it to me.
Okay.
That goes out to all the adulterers. If you ever see me at an airport, if you ever see me in the street, come up to me. It don't matter how pissed off I look. That's just my look. That's just my face. You could come up to me and tell me you're a fan.
Have you gotten the Eli? Like, what do you get? Or do you usually get the...
Have I gotten that?
I know this guy from Jimmy Fallon.
No.
You get the squint?
No, I think I've gotten more of like a subtle, like the people, I guess if I think back, the most exciting people were just like a subtle, like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm meeting you, which is crazy because I'm like, you could meet me. The fact that there's people out there that can't believe they met me, I'm me most of the time. Like I'm just me. You could meet me. I'm very meetable. I'm not an unmeetable guy. I wonder if like people who are actually famous celebrities, like do they feel like they're unmeetable?
I think they do.
Like does Beyonce walk around like, yeah, it is an honor to meet me?
Probably.
Maybe, because she's been famous for so long.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, you could DM me. I'll meet up with you.
Don't do that.
If you want to take a photo,
don't do that.
Send me a message. I've had that. I mean, I've had that on shows where like people DM me like, hey, I wanted a photo and I didn't get one. And I'm like, where you at? Let's take it right now. I mean, I'm not going anywhere to meet up, but I'm like, if you're around and I'm still like at the club, I'm like, come back. We'll take the photo. I don't care.
But the perks of being your co-host and your friend is also that like I also get some of the DMs that I guess you don't get. So
you sent me a couple of them that was crazy.
Please do not.
Yeah. Women are brave, man.
Whoa.
Women are brave.
Holy moly guacamole. We'll talk about it afterwards.
They get sexual. They'll tell you whatever they...
Should I release that information or keep it G14 classified?
You could say it. I mean, don't say...
No, I'm not going to say the name.
Yeah, don't say the name.
God, I'm chilling on a Sunday eating brunch probably because that's what grown folks do.
Right.
I check my Instagram because, we got to repost and share. What is it? Engagement? That's what they call it, right? So I got a message. I'm like, oh, okay. The message states explicitly, I want to sit on Ian's naked mustache face. Can you help me?
Yeah. She said that was her dream. Yeah. That's why I grew the beard.
Hence.
Yeah, because it was too much over sexualization.
What am I supposed to?
Once I had the mustache, I feel like I understand what women with big boobs feel. Because that's how I felt.
Yep.
Everywhere I went, people were getting weirdly sexual with
Did they just want to touch your face?
Well, people were getting weirdly like they'll just like like people would just call me a pervert, and I'm like, I just want a coffee, man. I don't know why you're calling me a pervert or
That's
accusing
rude.
me of perversion, but I'm just at Starbucks trying to get my day started.
That's pretty rude.
Which that's one of the things about the mustache. But yeah, people send these DMs. I get them all the time.
Whoa, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, I get. You know what I find? I'll be finding that I've told you this before. People send me DMs about you, and then they'll send you DMs about me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that person not DM you personally?
I'm not sure. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. She definitely didn't say that. But she's probably listening. So shout out to you.
Shout out. Of course.
I got some stuff to get into, man. I did my 4th Tonight Show appearance.
Jimmy Fallon?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Last Thursday.
Can we put a round of applause in there?
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. Last Thursday.
How was it?
I did my 4th one. I do it about once a year now, like once a year, sometimes twice, depending on when they invite me out. This was my 4th time. This is the last time I did it was almost a year previously. I had done it last October. And first of all, I just got to say shout out to them. Shout out to the whole staff over there at 30 Rock, to everybody who works at the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. You guys make everything so easy and fun.
Shout out to the Roots.
The stuff that happens that leading up to that, and I've spoken to celebrities who are really famous and who have done it thousands of times. It never gets easier. You know, you're always worried. You're always concerned that you're gonna have a bad show or a bad set. So you gotta you gotta really. And the way I handle anxiety and the way I handle nerves is I outwork the anxiety, right? I outwork the nerves. So it's like, if I feel extra anxiety about something, I'm just gonna prepare even harder. So I use my anxiety to my benefit, right? Some people get anxiety and they lay on the floor crying for the whole thing, right? But I find that doesn't work best for me. When I get anxiety and I'm nervous, I'm thinking about something, I'm just like, I'm gonna work my ass off to make sure this is right. So I knew I was doing the Tonight Show. They gave me the date about the beginning of September. So I had about 2 months to prepare for it. And I don't work good when I have like a long time, like
a long lead up.
Yeah, I don't like it, but pressure gets the best out of me.
Hyper focus.
Right. Pressure and a deadline gets me to work at my optimum ability. So I knew I had a month and a half, almost 2 months to get the set ready. And I was brainstorming a lot of it about like the jokes I wanted to do. So I had the skeleton.
So it was a brand new set? Sorry. It was a brand new set just for them?
No, that's never the case. You would never see anyone ever do a brand new set on national TV. That's not how it works. Any set you ever see on television has been vetted and rehearsed and practiced forever.
Okay.
Like I know a lot of people don't know this. Like they think people just go up there and wing it. That's not happening. Like there's so many layers that have to be approved. You got to submit it. They got to be approved by lawyers. It got to be approved by the booker. Everybody has to accept that you're going to say these things. No one's going to put you on national television and allow you to speak freely.
To wing it.
Yeah, that's not happening. Right. So they were all jokes that I had said previously in some capacity. But for the Tonight Show, it's a different thing because one, you can't curse, you can't be dirty, you can't say anything offensive, and on top of that, you only have 5 minutes.
Okay.
So you can't if you have a bit that's 8 minutes, you can't do that because it's 2 things. So what you might do is you might take little lines from other bits and combine it into one thing where you could get laugh, and you get as much laughs in the 5 minutes. So I knew what I was gonna do. I knew the 2 jokes that I was gonna do. I knew I was gonna do like my opener, which was about, like not being poor and if you've seen it about the mouthwash stuff. I knew I was gonna do that at the beginning. And then I knew I would close with one of my classic bits, which was the Delta stock bit, which is an old joke that I wrote honestly like 2018, maybe 17.
Go back.
But I never done it on TV. So this was a joke that I wanted to put it on TV because if you never done it on TV, it's like it doesn't exist. It
doesn't matter.
Like in 10 years, I'll be like, yeah, I remember I used to tell that joke. But if I never put it on television, it's not the same as like, oh, I posted it as a clip. So that's why sometimes you might see some of the jokes that you see that you might have seen on a Instagram reel. You might see me then perform it on a TV show because you want to you want to get it out there, right?
Audience, yeah.
So I knew what I was going to do. So I was pretty confident in what I was going to do. And then I figured that I would when I got back the week of, I knew I was doing it on Thursday. I was like, I was going to work it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I would perform it on Thursday. So I got back that Sunday. I flew back from Raleigh. By the way, shout out to everyone that came to see me in Raleigh. Great shows, great weekend. Shout out to everybody down there in North Carolina. So I got back Sunday and I started rehearsing the set, and it wasn't there. Like, I didn't have it yet. The set was too long once. I had to get it under 5 minutes, and I kept, like, I was having chronic brain fog. Like, I was having brain fog, all week. So I ran it Sunday, Monday, and shout out to the Comedy Cellar. They let me come by. I did it in like all their shows. So I ran it like 3-4 times where, they just say, I'm not on the show. They just say, this guy's dropping in. He's doing a Tonight Show this week. He just wants to run and rehearse the set. So I did it, and it was getting laughs. So I was building confidence in it, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be. And I made the mistake of taking an edible to fall asleep on Monday night. And I woke up on Tuesday with just absolute brain fog. Like, really? I could not remember. Like, I remembered my jokes, but like I said, I was moving a lot of lines around. So I could not remember the set, and I was panicking that I was gonna go on television and just forget and blank. That happens. That has happened to some comics. You just blank out.
When's the show?
Thursday.
Yeah. So I ran into my friend, another comic, very funny, Matt Richards. Check him out on Instagram.
Oh, shout out Matt.
Yeah, Matt Richards, super funny dude. And I was telling him, I ran the set, and we were talking shop after. He was like, it's good, whatever. And I was like, I feel like I don't got it. Like, I feel like I'm not in the moment. I feel like I'm kind of trying to remember the lines, and it's causing me not to do the pauses I want to do, and to do the looks I want to do, and to do the nuanced things that make the joke more funnier, whether it be like a look or a pause or a stare that makes it look more funny. I was like, I can't get there because I'm too focused on remembering the joke. And he asked me, he's like, why don't you remember it? And I said, I took an edible yesterday and I just have this chronic brain fog. So he told me he worked on a show with Snoop Dogg where he was writing on a show for Snoop Dogg. And he was like, they would smoke all day and he would get the fog. And he said Snoop Dogg told him that if you want to clear up your brain fog after smoking, he said you can have a glass of orange juice and B12 vitamins, like a B12 pill or whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I'll definitely try that because my brain fog is thing. So I go up, I run it again, and then I have like an hour and a half gap between my next show. And there's a CVS right around the blocks from the Comedy Cellar. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the CVS. I walk into the CVS, I buy B12. I'm like, let me just take it now. Like, why wait till tomorrow? Why wait till I go home? So I go back to the Comedy Cellar. I take my vitamin B12. Everyone's like, what are you, gay? Why are you taking vitamins at the show? Whatever. So I take the B12 and I ask for orange juice. I drink the orange juice and I start just talking. No, I just start talking like we were just talking with the comics, whatever. And as the hour, like half an hour goes by and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit sharper. Like I'm feeling like I'm more like in the moment. I'm feeling sharper. And I still had one more set. And then I went downstairs and then I did my set and I was like, okay, now I'm back. Like I feel in the moment. I feel clear. I feel like I'm in the thing. And I got on stage. I saw Matt upstairs. I'm like, dude, thank you so much. This completely cleared it up and saved my life.
Your set.
Right. Yeah. So then I went home. I had my vitamin B12. I took more of it. The next day was the Tonight Show. I woke up. I took vitamin B12. I took a Alpha Brain. I took a focus shot. So I wanted to zone in because again, the set, I had moved so much stuff around that I wasn't sure. I didn't want to forget. The day of, a lot of people want to know like, what's it like the day of? They send you a car, they send you a driver to your house that picks you up. The car picks you up in the afternoon around, the show films at 5 in the afternoon. Yeah. So the car picks you up around 2:45. Nice car with a driver, very fancy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the driver picks you up. He takes you to the Tonight Show. You show up. There's like a security and their producer is waiting for you right at 30 Rock, right when you show up. It's very, very fancy, very Hollywood. Like they open the door for you. They, Mr. Lara, they escort you, come upstairs. You go up through the back way. You go through security. They take you up to your green room. And you're there a little early. Somebody comes, they're like, hey, do you need us to steam, iron anything? You give them your clothes that you're gonna wear on the thing because you don't show up wearing it. Yeah. You kind of have it in the thing. You tell them, hey, yeah, you could iron this, whatever. I fun fact, I had the tag on the stuff that I buy because I usually buy, if I'm gonna do the Tonight Show, I do it once a year.
Fit.
Yeah, I buy a new outfit. So I still had the tag on what I was gonna buy. And their clothes lady, she comes up to me and she's like, hey, do you want us to keep the tag? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, oh no, we have a thing where we can tape the tag to the bottom of the dress. I was like, oh no, she's like, no, I'm gonna keep it. Like, I'm not gonna send it back. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. I was like, are people sending it back? She was like, oh my God, every celebrity that comes here, we literally had to buy a machine that stores the tag of the clothes because they wear it once and they just send it back. Which makes sense because it's like, when you're a celebrity, it's like you can't wear it again, really, what you wear on the thing. So she was like, yeah, not only do we have a machine that hides the tag that you can't rip off, but we also have a machine that if it does rip off, we can install it again. Yeah,
bro, you're breaking the fifth wall, right?
Yeah, that we can install it again. I was like, what do you know, man? Hollywood, it's all fake. Which I was like, oh, that's cool. Next time, I'm gonna be Versace'd out. You're gonna see me Gucci'd out.
Put the tags away.
Right, and it's all going back.
Yep.
It's all going back.
Same day.
Yeah. So I'm there. You're in the green room. Jimmy comes by before he changes and gets dressed. He comes by like in street clothes. He says hello to everyone. And obviously I had done it before. So he came by. He was like, very happy to have you back. I'm excited to see the set. Like, how you been? We talked for a little bit. Then he went off, and then you go out for rehearsal. So I'm doing rehearsal for the Tonight Show. You go into the thing. There's nobody there. It's just cameramen and the producers there. But you rehearse it, how you're going to do it. And for me, because it was my fourth time, they asked me. They were like, do you want to rehearse? You don't have to rehearse. But if you want to, you can. Completely up to you. Like, we trust you, whatever. And I was like, let me rehearse. Why not? I'm here. Let me run the set. So I get out to run the set. I start running the set. I do my opening joke. The cameramen laugh. The producers laugh at my opening joke. And then my mind goes blank.
Oh, shit.
On rehearsal, my mind goes blank. I'm like, I just stop. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to rehearse. I just like, I'm good. I got it. Got it. Yeah. So I played it off like that. But in my mind, I walked back to my green room and I'm like, I just blanked. This was what I was worrying about the whole time, was me blanking. This is at like maybe 3 p.m., maybe 3:30 p.m. and the show's at 5. And I'm like, I just blanked on rehearsal. Damn. And I was worried that I'm gonna blank when we go live on air. So from 3:30 on, I start running the set, bro. Because I had Ida Rodriguez, she came, my manager. So I had like the people I had in the green room. Shout
out Ida.
Yeah, I stepped out. I left them in my green room. I stepped out. I start rehearsing the set. I'm just running it in my head, back and forth. Like, I'm walking up and down the hallways. And the other guest was Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen.
I like you.
Yeah, which he was very funny, very nice guy. He was there with his family. And so my dressing room was right next to the Roots and up. And I'm walking up and down the hallway. I'm just trying to memorize. I'm like, dude, you can't go blank. You can't blank on this. You can't blank on this. I go do makeup. They take me into the makeup room. I'm in the makeup chair. I'm just rehearsing it. You can't do it. You can't do it. My manager, he's there. He's like, because obviously he's seen me do it 3 times. He's like, I've never seen him like this. Like, usually when I go, like, I just have it. Yeah. Like, I just already know what I'm going to do, and I have more confidence that I'm not going to forget it. Yeah. So I remember I'm rehearsing. I'm just like, nah, I'm cutting everything off. Like, Borat comes through with his mustache, 99, and I'm like, fuck Borat. I can't go down this path.
I can't blank, baby.
Yeah, I can't blank. They do the first segment, which is Borat, and the second segment was Brett. I forgot his name. He's from Ted Lasso. Another nice guy. I think it's Brett Weinstein. I forgot his name, but he's from Ted Lasso. Super funny dude. They do his segment. And then they call me. They're like, Ian, are you ready? And I don't know what it is. This is what I wanted to get at. Like, sometimes you go to a game, like you go to a basketball sporting event, and it'll be a high pressure moment. Like, maybe they gotta make a free throw at the end or kick a field goal, or his bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, you're down 2 runs and you're up with 2 strikes, and it's this high pressure situation. And people, like your regular, like people with regular jobs, they think like, oh my God, the pressure must be insane right now. But I have a theory, like, I don't think is that, because I think that we as people, we naturally rise to the occasion. Bro, I was like so worried. I was so like scared that I was gonna flub, that I was gonna go blank, that I was gonna mess up a line. But then like the producer came and got me and they were like, "You're ready?" And I was like, "Let's do it.
Let's go."
And I walked there, I walked backstage. They walk you through the back, through the thing so you can come out through the curtain. And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm like a fighter coming out to the thing. I'm like, let me at him. Let me at him. Why I oughta. I'm ready to fuck that audience up. And you're backstage. They got like a photo booth backstage. Excuse me, right before you go on. They're like, you want to do this photo booth real quick? So I go in, I do the photo booth. I'm like rehearsing the thing. They're like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready." You hear Jimmy comes out. He introduces you. He's giving me a nice introduction. He's like, "This next guy is a regular here. This is his 4th time. He's a complete pro. I want you guys to show him a lot of love, show him energy." They come back from commercial. You hear the band playing. I hear Jimmy announce me. This next guy is gonna be filming a special December 21st. Please welcome back the very funny Ian Lara. That's my mark. They open up the curtain. I walk out. It's full of people. I don't know how much people is in the studio. I would say probably like 300-400 people in the studio plus the band. You come out. I hit my mark. Say hi to the Roots. That's what you gotta do. You gotta say hi to the Roots.
Shout out to the Roots.
Say hi to Jimmy. And you hit your mark and then you start. I opened up. I thanked them. I opened up and the first joke hit. And I was like, okay,
I'm here.
I got it. Smooth sailing after that.
Fire.
And
Nothing but smooth sailing.
Right. And I did the set and it was good. It was honestly for me, which I'm thankful for. Every time I do it, I'm happier with it than the previous one. And this was no difference. I did it. You do it, clap, laugh, whatever. Jimmy invites you back to the couch. You're sitting there talking. That's real conversation. I know some people think that we're just like fake talking. But no, we're having real conversation. Jimmy was very complimentary about the set. He was like, "Dude, every time you come, you completely kill it. That was so funny, complete hilarious." He's giving me, nothing but good compliments. I invited him to my special taping. I'm like, "Look, come to my special taping, dude." He's like, "I'll come if I don't." He was like, "If I'm around, I'll come
through."
And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll tell the producer to connect us and invite you." And then we go backstage and we walk backstage and he comes back. He came back to my green room and we were still talking about it. We talk about the set. He was saying what jokes he appreciated. And we took a couple pictures. And then Borat, sorry, you call him Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen, his kids came by. He was there with his kids. They came by and they were like, "Hey, that was super funny." They're like, teenagers. And I was like, "Thank you."
That's
then
awesome.
Sacha Baron Cohen came by. He was like, "Hey,
I like you."
yeah. He was like, "Hey, man, that was funny. I really enjoyed that." And I said, "Listen, I'm a huge fan of you and all your work. Like, I think you're like a comedic genius. And I was giving a very complimentary. Your ability to never break character is something to be studied.
Remarkable.
Great, yeah." And he was appreciative. And then it's good. Then the rest of the night, it's good. We left. We went out to eat. We went to a steakhouse. We went to Old Hempstead.
Smooth sailing.
Homestead. It was great. It was a good night. And it ended. And then I ended up watching it at my cousin's because obviously you film in the afternoon. It airs at 11:30 that night. And then I went to my cousin's house and I watched it there with my cousins. We watched it live and it was just a fun night. It's just a good night. It's one of the nights in the business where if you work in any type of artistry or any type of anything really, you got to really celebrate your wins and the big thing because a lot of it is not that.
Yeah.
A lot of it is not you on the Tonight Show having a good set and everyone loving you.
No.
It is mostly not that.
I mean, I got a lot of feedback. People saying that's one of the best sets that they've seen you do, especially on the Tonight Show. Shout out to my boy Wendell. He listens to the show. He's a big fan. He was just
really?
"Yo, Ian killed it." I was like, "Yeah, what do you expect?"
Oh man, thank you. I'm really appreciative. We got to get some of these people to come out to the special taping.
We should.
Because I remember your boy came to see me at the stand.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, adulterers? Real quick, I hate to interrupt the show, but if you want to see me do stand up live, I will be at the Houston Punchline this weekend, November 7th to the 9th. Next weekend, November 14th, I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And on the 22nd and the 23rd, I'm at Roar Comedy Club in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I'm closing out the month, Thanksgiving weekend in Tempe, Arizona at the Tempe Improv from the 29th to the 1st. Get your tickets. They're all on ianlaraloud.com. Check me out. Pace. Real quick, if you want to come to my special taping, we have about 50 tickets left when I'm recording this for the 8 o'clock on December 21st. It's going to be a movie Saturday night, New York City, 4 days before Christmas. Ian Lara is taping his special. You do not want to miss this. There's about 50 tickets left to the 8 p.m. We just opened up a 6 p.m. show because the 8 p.m. is going to sell out. Get your tickets, ianlaralive.com. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be one for the ages. Thank you. Peace.
What was I going to say? Like, I didn't
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah.
Real quick, don't forget your thought. But this is the Adulthood Podcast, Volume 82.
Hey!
Sunday, November 3rd. Thank you guys for always listening and supporting. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Comment on YouTube. Let us know you enjoy the show. Let us know what part you enjoyed. Let us know what part you disagree with. Adulterers for life.
I didn't make the taping for your last special because I think I was DJing, but I definitely went to the release for the HBO Max.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a great night. And that was one of those nights where it's just like, nah, I missed the taping, but I'm definitely coming for the release, you know? And I'm definitely going to be there this time.
Right. No, yeah, the special, it was that one, that held a lot of weight. I think I spoke about this before, but that special romantic comedy, I was working on that since COVID. It was a thing that was supposed to be filmed way before it got filmed, but then I ultimately ended up having to deal with the death of my mom and my mom getting sick, and we had to push it back. So the whole thing of that coming to fruition and being able to film it and then having a release in New York and having a release party, red carpet release in New York, that was like an unforgettable night. And I'm grateful for like everyone who came out. I had so many people come out to that night to watch it and to the thing. And it was truly, that was like one of the best nights of my career. Both the special taping and then the release party. Yeah, that was such a thing because that was one of the things that was so weird because that party, we did a screening of the special. It was supposed to be a screening of the special. Then we had a red carpet picture thing. But I didn't realize that people actually wanted photos with me.
Yeah.
Like I thought I would take like 4 or 5 photos and it would be the end of it. But I mean, I spent the entire night taking photos with the people who came. And again, to me, like, they were like, are you tired? Like, because I had my publicist, whatever. She was like, are you tired? Do you want to stop? And I was just like, no. Like, am I tired? Like, what? I mean, I just don't understand the notion of like being... I mean, I guess it just takes you being famous for longer for you to not like...
To be jaded by it?
Yeah, be jaded and not respect your fan base or not want to... Because I'm like, I'll take... These people who came here to see me...
Money.
Yeah, like I'll take photos the entire night. Like,
you know how hard you work for this?
Right, like who am I to be like, no? But I guess it just comes... Like, I just need more success for me to say, fuck my fans, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just not there.
I mean,
yet.
you're on the way.
Yeah.
Your trajectory.
Yeah.
Speaking about Matt Richards, like I remember seeing Matt outside the Comedy Cellar, like remember Village Underground? And like having to say like, hey, do you want to come see a comedy show? Did you ever have to do that?
Oh, barking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called barking.
Yeah, did you ever have to bark?
Barking, for those of you who don't know, barking is when you start off in comedy, like it's a hard path. Like no one, New York has a million comedians. No one thinks you're funny and wants to put you on. So you have to do certain things to get stage time. Excuse me. One of the things you could do is you can go to open mics to get stage time, but at open mics, you're not running into actual audience members. You're running into jaded comedians watching you.
Yep.
So it's hard to build material with jaded comedians that don't want to laugh at you.
Yep.
So another thing you can do is bark. And barking is when you stand outside of a comedy club and you basically beg bystanders and passerbys
and tourists
to come into the show, and you sell them the show, and you fill up a room with people who were not intending to go to a comedy show. They just happen to have no other plans and came to see you, which again, they're not the best audience, but that's the only way for you to get in front of people.
Damn.
So that's some of the things you have to do when you get started in New York.
Woo.
And you saw Matt do it.
I saw Matt do that like for months. And then all of a sudden just, he's on a commercial. I'm like, hold on. So like that grind is real. You know what I mean?
I remember like it was yesterday. This was maybe 2018 or 2019. I was in the Village. I was walking past the Comedy Cellar. Was I in the Comedy Cellar already? Maybe I was already in there. So it was probably 2019. I was already working at the Comedy Cellar. I had just done my first Tonight Show. And I was walking past the Grizzly Pear, which is another club that's down the block from the Comedy Cellar. And I saw Marcelo Hernandez outside. He was Marcelo's on SNL, super funny dude from SNL. And I knew Marcelo. I knew him as like a young comic who was on the scene, but he was just like a young dude who had just came from Miami and was making his way up, and he knew me better than I knew him at that point because, you know, I was kind of one of the first like Latino comics to really like get any type of mainstream.
Are you the Jackie Robinson of comedy?
Success? Definitely not.
Comedy?
Definitely not. But just in the scene of the young guys, of the young new guys, I was one of the. Of course, there's been so many that came before us that paved the way. Of the young new guys, I was one of the first ones. And I remember running into Marcelo outside, and he was barking, and he was telling me about how he's been barking, you know, paying his dues, like doing the thing. He's barking for stage time, and he at the time he was telling me that you know, he had a roommate, or I forget the story, but he was living in a small bedroom apartment where he didn't like, you know, he was doing the things. He was the struggling artist. This was maybe 2019. Fast forward 20. I mean, now for sure, but it's not till recent. Maybe 2022 or 2023. He gets on SNL, and now he's one of the most famous and successful comics out there.
And just killing.
Complete night and day, just killing the game, killing the scene, just on top of the game. I mean, you can't watch, I text Marcelo, I can't watch baseball, I can't watch the World Series without seeing a commercial of Marcelo Hernandez. I'm like, get the fuck off my TV, you know?
That's awesome.
But shout out to him, he deserves it because he paid the dues.
You saw that grind.
Right, and I say all that to say, like, people don't want to do this anymore. They don't want to pay the dues.
You think it's because of social media?
I think social media has a part to do. I think social media has a big part to do it. I think social media would dilute your thinking into believing that you the shit.
That you lit already?
People just believe they're the shit. People, I mean, I speak to people all the time where they're like, you know, people are thinking of, you know, sometimes I'll speak to a friend or a colleague who's telling me, you know, that they're unmotivated and they want to quit or whatever. And I'm like, quit what? You haven't done anything. Like to want to quit, you have to put in an honest effort. Like, you haven't done anything. You went and did a show and you thought that because you did the show that everything should be opened up for you. It's not how the business works. Some people actually want to quit stuff where I'm actually like, look, I understand because I've been there. I understand. But look, you've paid your dues. You're on the right path. Like, you just have to stay strong. That's a different conversation with some people.
Yeah.
But some people just show up like, I'm hilarious. And when the industry's like, oh, we don't know about you, they're like, all right, I'm going to quit.
Not even the industry. Like, are people saying that you're hilarious? There's one thing for people to like laugh at a post or like a reel or a clip. And this would be my thing with like, I think it translates to where, you know, you got all of these famous Instagram comedians and famous Instagram DJs. And it's just like, that's cool. That's your arena. But I'm talking about being in front of people in the club where they had to pay for a babysitter. They had to pay for like, you know, they're spending real money. Can you come and rock? And if you can't, it's not on them. It's honestly on you. Have you put in the work? Have you bombed? Like, there's been so many times where I'm thinking that I'm Kid Capri or something and the crowd is looking at me like, somebody get this nigga out of here. Right. What are you doing? Right. Especially in the early days. And I had to have that irrational confidence of like, I don't care. I'm still going to keep going. I'm still going to keep taking these L's.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing we don't talk about. Some people get tricked into delusion, right? Because, and I say tricked because social media will have you believe in that. Because I'm a proponent of this. Like, I see people on social media who are very funny. They are hilarious. Like, I share their clips. I share their sketches. Like, I think they're funny. I follow them. They may not even follow me. I follow them because I find them funny. But that's not what I do. Like, just because you're funny in that arena, it's not the same arena of what I do. Right? What I do is a craft that takes years upon years of failing, and you have to fail up and continue to move forward and get better and figure out what you did wrong and get better, and then you regress, and then it builds confidence, and then you stop caring so much, and that in turn makes you better, and that in turn makes you more fearless. It's like a process. Like, you're not like, I personally don't believe that most people, 99% of the people are not born just good at it. There is a 1% of people that like take the stage and immediately people are like, this guy is a genius. Like the Eddie Murphys of the world. It's like, you're not Eddie Murphy though. I'm not Eddie Murphy. Like,
but even with Eddie Murphy, like that comes from growing, like, I feel like that's a lot of impacts. I listen to basically every single Eddie Murphy interview and impacts, a lot of inputs where he was just growing up, his dad, because it depends on the environment you grow up on too. Like, I think he was, like you said, it's a natural ability, but it's also like that natural ability was molded throughout his life experiences. I feel like a lot of people ain't really having life experiences to be able to go and talk to 500 people, thousands of people.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's part of it. I think all that helps, but at the end of the day, I'm a truist to the religion. I mean, to the
comedy,
basically to the religion of comedy or to the art of comedy.
That's a t-shirt.
I'm a purist in the sense that, like, I don't care about what you used to do. I don't care if you had a radio show. I don't care your upbringing. Nothing can replace being on the stage.
No,
like, I think that is an important part. I think you need to be on the stage.
Yeah,
and if you're good and you're not on the stage, if you were in the stage, you'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're great and you're not on the stage, if you were behind the stage, you'd be a legend.
Mm-hmm.
And it just continues. Like, you'll just be better if you're on stage.
You have to work
so there's no one that, like, you could call in and it could be Eddie Murphy himself could be like, I'm good and I'm not on stage, or I'm Eddie Murphy and I'm not on stage. It's like, yeah, Eddie, but if you were on stage, you would be so much better than you already are. Like, it's just a thing that makes you better. It's like paying the dues.
Yeah.
Which people don't want to, which I get it. It's tough. Like,
it's expensive.
Today, I mean, it's one of the topics today of like this, like the New York Marathon on November 3rd, which is, what is it, 26 and a half miles?
26.2.
26.2, something crazy like that.
Crazy.
Like, I think a marathon is it's a good analogy of like what life is and what is no matter what you're trying to pursue or what you're trying to do, this shit, like, you gotta train. Like, people be like life is a marathon, which it is.
It is.
But when you want to achieve something that is hard to achieve, like something that a lot of people want, you're not just in the marathon because you're in life. You got to train for the marathon. Like, people think life is a marathon, like I'm in the marathon already because I'm born and I'm alive. No. You got to train to get into the marathon. It's not a given in most things that you're just going to be in it.
You ever thought about being a preacher? You was talking about religion?
I mean,
you just took that the inflections. You got to train.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, sign me up, son. I'll buy the DVD or something.
Look, half of my family is pastors and the other half is Dominican hooligans.
Okay, so that mix.
Yeah, with that mix, I get both of the things.
I'm ready to go to church right now, yo.
Yeah, no, it's a fact. I mean, you have to train. You know what's funny you bring that up, because a lot of people call me, a lot of my contemporaries and people, even people who are way far ahead of me in the business or in other business in other areas, they call me when they're feeling down or when they're feeling unmotivated or when they're feeling uninterested in whatever path or field they are. They call me to give them the perspective that I give, and I give it to the adulterers for free.
on a weekly basis on Sunday nights.
Yeah, people don't talk about this. It's like the New York City Marathon. You don't just show up and you're running the marathon. No. The people who are running that marathon have been training for months, sometimes years.
Since May.
Yeah, sometimes years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the people who run it often, their training is different, right?
Yeah.
But the first timers, I know people started training, a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You got to start running and getting prepared for this.
And
then when you're in the marathon, you have to remember that it's a marathon.
And then on top of that, you also have to you're not just obviously you're training your body, right? But the most important thing that you're doing is you're training your mind, because you got to get out there in the rain when it's too hot, whatever, because you have to stick to that program when you don't want to do it. That was the worst part. So I never did the New York City Marathon. I was training and I hurt my knee. But for the half marathons that I ran, bro,
how many miles is that?
13.1.
You ran them?
Yeah.
You finished that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did 3. And that shit was a real test of, bro, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't like marathon runners.
Okay.
As people,
yeah,
I think they're bad people.
That's why I did half.
Yeah,
so I'm
that's
half
good.
a bad
that's
person.
Good. I'm glad you didn't complete
I didn't do the full one.
Because I feel like people who run marathons, I think that they have a desire to be seen. Mm-hmm. I look at them as people who back into parking spots.
Okay.
You don't have to do.
You don't have to back in.
You don't have to do this. You can just go in straight up.
Yeah.
But you want to be seen. If there's anyone looking, you want people to see you back in.
You backed in.
And then also, you want people to walk by your car and be like, oh, this person reversed their driver.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about marathon runners. But, although it is an impressive accomplishment. If you run a marathon and if you come tell me that you ran a marathon, I feel like in a way you're telling me that you're better than me. And I agree. And I agree. When people tell me that they ran a marathon, like you might as well tell me like I'm a piece of shit. Because that's how I take it.
That's how you take it.
And not only do I take it that way, I agree.
Because it's the truth.
It's the truth.
You dedicated so much of your time and your life to torture, because that's what it is.
No, yeah,
especially
for sure.
the New York City one, because you're running a marathon. If you run on flat lands, bro, that's. I think you can not have to train crazy like that. But New York City, the inclines and like the sneaky inclines that you're not prepared for, and you're running from Staten Island through Brooklyn through Queens, all of that is uphill. You're running like altitude rise, like almost like 2 miles high.
Now, did you finish the 13.1?
Yeah.
Now, do you think you would have finished the 26? Or were you dying at 13.1?
I was definitely dying at 13.1, but I would have finished.
Did you walk some or is it all running?
No, all running.
All running?
Yeah, all running. But
which is terrible on your knees.
The worst.
That's why I think like the people who run marathons, that's why I think is like you have such a chronic desire to show that you're better than everyone, which I agree you are. But it's like you're willing to risk both of your knees.
Your knees
to
and
prove
feet.
it.
Oh, man.
Your knees, your back, your feet, like everything is bad.
And if you don't train the right way, you can really like do lifelong damage to yourself. Like one of my bosses from my old job, my first job out of college, he ran the marathon like 15 years ago, and he was saying like I'm still dealing with that because he didn't train.
He ran it 15 years ago?
Yeah.
And he's still dealing with the consequences?
Yes.
Good for him.
Yes.
No one told you to run a stupid ass marathon.
And nobody told him about that part, right? 15 years later.
I'll tell you this though. Shout out to everyone who runs a marathon, by the way.
Shout out, of course.
But I'll tell you this. That day when you finish the race, the people that finish the race and go to a bar wearing their medal, touche.
Big
The
ups.
pussy magnet on that has to be insane.
Crazy.
That's a big move. I see them at bars. I bow to them like I'm Japanese.
I was gonna say, is dick magnet the reverse if it's the pussy magnet? Like, because there's a lot of ladies that finish the marathon too.
No, I mean I don't think women who finish the marathon or wear the medal and get dick thrown at them. I think it's very unattractive that women finish marathons.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I'm kidding.
We'll save that for the Patreon.
Obviously, I'm kidding.
Clip that.
Jeez, you gotta say that now.
You might have to get a Clip King.
No, but
t-shirt.
I think listen, if I'm being honest, I think when people finish a marathon, like I'm impressed. That's an impressive thing.
Yeah.
Like people who do it, I'm like, damn, man, you really got nothing else to do? Good for you.
You just took 7 hours of your day.
Good for you. 7 hours. You just took
That's the whole weekend.
12 months of training so you can run across the thing.
Bro, and you got to be there like 5:30 in the morning. You have to be there like 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is it like? Because you're a marathon runner, so you're ridiculous. What is the thing that like motivated you to do that?
I was dealing with some personal issues, and I felt like I was going down a bad path of like going to strip clubs and drinking, and like I was just like I'm not.
Some might argue that's a great path.
Yeah.
Sounds good. It sounds way better than the marathon.
I know.
How you
I know. I didn't delve into like hard drugs, but like I could see that was in the next line of where I was going. So it's just like,
so basically you were becoming too much fun.
Yeah.
You were being too much
Yeah.
of a good time.
Absolutely.
So you were like, what could make people not want to hang out with me the most? Let me train for a marathon.
I got to reel this back. Yeah.
Right. That's actually pretty good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Because it would have been terrible. Like that path I was going down. So it's just like, you know what? I'm not going to let whatever I'm going through dictate how I like operate in life. So that's why I went the complete and opposite way.
No, this is good advice. This is good advice for the adulterers. If you ever feel that life is going too good for you, in the sense of like, it's too much girls, too much partying, too much alcohol, just too much fun, and you want to step back and have people maybe not want to hang out with you as much as they previously did, start training for a marathon.
Train for a marathon.
Put it in your bio on Instagram. I'll unfollow you.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're hype and I'm training for the marathon.
Yeah, I'll for sure unfollow you. So I feel like that's good advice. And then you finish it and you feel accomplished. You feel invincible.
I felt like nobody could touch me.
Yeah. How long did it take you to heal up after?
Probably. So I ran it 3 times. The first time it took about a week. The second time I DJ'd after, and every time
you did?
Yeah.
Like the same day?
Yeah, I DJ'd brunch and a wedding the same day.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're one of these overachievers.
Because it can go the opposite way, man. Like I can be too much fun. So it's just like I gotta reel that shit
Now,
back
how
in.
long did it take you to feel like after? Like, were you dead the next day? Like, how long did it take you to get better?
The first one, I was dead that day, and then the next day, because I got rest, I was fine. And then the second two, I was fine. Like I was down for a couple hours, and then I was able to get up and function.
Now, when you training, are you not drinking?
The first one I didn't. The second two, I was still like dabbling.
I think this is a good move. Like, if there's any single guys listening to this, I think that a good way to pick up women is tell them you're training for something.
Easily.
Women like men who are training for something.
That have something to do.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I knew this since I was in junior high school. I knew this. Sometimes I remember in junior high, you know, you're kids or whatever, so you don't know nothing. Or high school, maybe girls get labeled like slutty or whatever because they like a certain kind of guy. They like the athlete or the thing. And I always had the perception enough to be like, no, women just like men who do stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
In high school, sure. Like in high school, you know,
it's not much.
You have a really small view of the world. So you think that because somebody plays basketball, that this is the guy you're going to marry. But generally, as you get older, you really see that it's not just basketball, it's anything. It could be something as ridiculous as running 26 miles through your city.
Yeah.
That will impress women.
But speaking about impressing women, I feel like, did we have a message? Because this is a great segue. We had the message. Can we read the message now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the message.
He said, "My name is Isaiah. I just started listening in March, and I'm already on volume 46.
Shout out to
Isaiah, bro.
Yeah, this is a while ago. Our fault for finally getting into it. But I recently got out of a 1.5-year relationship about 5 months ago, and I wanted to ask this question.
1.5, 5 months ago. Okay.
Yeah. It says, not saying my skills in the bedroom are crazy, but they sure aren't weak. How do you move forward with self-confidence when your lady tells you she was faking an orgasm during the relationship? Ooh. She claimed she has never come before, but regardless, when I heard that, I was like, fuck, I must suck at this. Since then, I've been with about 3 girls, and to my knowledge, they came. But fuck, at this point, how do I know for sure? Figured I'd ask y'all. Keep doing y'all thing because y'all really helped me get through the work week.
Shout out Isaiah.
Man,
send him a DM. Tell him, could you send him a DM right now and be like, we just saw this and we're answering the question on the next episode?
We helping the people,
I'll
man.
talk to him.
Like, that's got to feel good.
A lot of guys are afraid to talk about this.
They are?
Because it is an uncomfortable conversation.
Very.
But I don't think I'm speaking out of line when I say women are very difficult to make orgasm.
You're not. You're in line.
That's a fact.
That's a full-blown fact.
First of all, I got to say this, and this is just a fact, because I hear a lot of ladies who want to throw it in men's faces, which is fine. Look, I understand it's hard to be a woman, you get pregnant, the baby, stretch, whatever. You're right. I'm not debating that. So if you need to find small things to throw in our face, you can. That's fine. I'm a man. I'll take it. But if we're speaking honestly and earnestly, I think that women discredit the fact that the way nature has made it, it is
impossible
for women to make men reach this thing, but it's difficult for men to make women reach this thing.
Isn't that interesting?
This has nothing to do with you as a person.
Isaiah.
It's just difficult. It is. It involves so much that it does not involve for men. What are the things you ask? They gotta be comfortable. They gotta feel safe. They gotta have they had to have eaten, but not a lot. They can't be too full, but they can't be starving. Something. Right? They have to have had a decent day.
It has to be clean.
Right. You gotta smell decent. Like, it's a lot of things that men don't generally need.
Nope.
So for that, cut us some slack.
Yeah.
For that alone, cut us some slack.
Yeah.
With that being said, as a man, as an adult man, I feel that you, especially with your partner, you have to work on handling this, right?
1000%.
You can't, but with that, there's gonna be a lot of tough conversation.
A lot.
It's gonna be a lot of her telling you suck, you got a small penis, you call that a dick. It's gonna be a lot of that.
A lot.
And as a man, you gotta sit there quietly and
just take it.
Which is very emasculating.
And then just like let that tear drop down your eye and then just wipe it real quick. Yeah.
Right. But you're doing this in hopes of reaching a better conclusion.
Yeah.
And that is to make your partner climax.
Yes.
Now, the women who are faking it, I think you're doing a disservice.
False confidence.
I think we don't need to be faking it.
No.
I think if it's a hookup and you don't want to deal with it and you're on your, look, I'm not going to train another man. I'm just going to do this and move on. Fine. But if it's your partner who you're building with, don't fake it.
Nope.
Have a conversation. Tell them what you enjoy. Tell them what you like. Tell us and we'll do it. We'll try to do it. But also understand that sometimes it's hard. A lot of you ladies, either you're not vocal at all with what you like and what you don't like, or you're faking it. So it's like, how are we ever going to read what works or what doesn't? You know what I think is important?
Talk to me.
When you're being sexually active with your partner.
Talk to me.
And if he's a guy, let him know. As a woman, let him know when he's doing something good.
I don't like this.
Right. But do more of this.
Do more.
If you have trouble telling them, I don't like this, then maybe just say when you like it, so we know when you don't say anything, that means you don't like it.
And you bring up a great point around the communication. And Isaiah, this is, specifically to you, is like, I don't think she really cared about you, honestly, because if she did, she would have been like, hey, I'm not fulfilled, but I'm into you. So this is what I want. Like, coach, like you said.
Yeah.
Tell me what you like. Do you like foreplay? Because that's the thing, too. There's a lot of different inputs that as men, for our satisfaction, for our pleasure, we really don't need.
Right.
Versus you need foreplay, candles. You got to warm it up. Shout out to Taylor,
autumn,
right? It got to be
autumn. It
autumn.
got to be daylight saving, but not 5 p.m. It's better at 7 p.m.
The leaves got to be like burnt orange, but not brown. Like,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
But you have to do this because you care about your person, right?
Right.
And you honestly, you ultimately do want to, if it's someone that you want to build with and that you care about, you actually do need these conversations, because if you're thinking long term, if she's not climaxing, then that means like whoever, Billy or whoever's delivering the Amazon packages, or like whoever's delivering the pizza, they might be able to, stuff those buns.
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't think it's fair to women to be with a partner who never gets them to that point, right? But it's like, we gotta work as a team.
Yeah.
This has to be a team thing.
Yeah.
You have to let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like, because I think a lot of women believe, or maybe they just don't even think about it because they don't deal with women. They think that we could just learn and apply the same rules to every girl, but that's just not true.
It's not the case. And
for every girl, you might not believe, there's women listening to this who might have hooked up with a guy, and maybe, because I've had this the other way with women, where you ever been with somebody where you, after it's done, you start rethinking past choices you've made in life, and you start to wonder, that thing that they did, who in the world told them that was a thing that was pleasurable and enjoyable to anyone, regardless of gender, right?
Yeah.
I give you the eye gouging story, right? When I got eye gouged,
somebody,
regardless of what the gender is, who told them that human beings in a sexual way enjoy getting their eyeballs pushed in?
Yeah, somebody did.
But I do believe that, I'm speaking generally, not every situation, generally speaking, when men do things, it is because they had a previous partner who enjoyed these things.
Yes.
Flick, a pinch.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, a smack, jazz hands. It's different things, right?
It's not one size fits all.
It's not one size fits all.
It's not.
So
it's definitely not.
We got to work together as a team. And we can't be embarrassing, because sometimes the women try to be embarrassing. And it's like, ladies, don't do this. Don't try to be embarrassing to your partner, because if men tried to embarrass you sexually, you would never be comfortable having sex again.
Ever again.
So we got to walk on eggshells, making sure we're like, hey, I love you. I love what you do. You're doing great, but just don't do anything you do.
At all.
Yeah. That's how we gotta put it.
Yeah.
And this is the secret weapon. When all else fails, Isaiah, you gotta get a vibrator, bro.
Yo.
This is a game changer. The vibrator is the game changer.
There's a book, You also
That vibrates?
No. This book that vibrates, but you also got to learn how to do that cunnilingus thing, bro. Honestly, once you get to a certain age, you remember when we were younger and it was just like, oh, you eat. I can't believe. Nah, as a grown man, once you reach like 20, 27, 28, with your partner, you got to learn how to work, for lack of a better term, work that tongue, bro.
For sure. I think a large portion of women probably can only reach a climax through that anyway. Penetration doesn't do it for most. I read a statistic that was like over 80% of women can't even climax through penetration. But I'm telling you, Isaiah, get a vibrator, especially for your partner.
You need to bring Taylor back.
For your partner, you get their little vibration, and when you ready to tap out, you tag that thing in like a tag team partner, and that thing comes in, and I'm telling you, it'll help. It changes. It's a game changer. Because you remember I had the sex company. They sent me all these vibrators,
yeah?
And I gave them out to all the women because they were these little like jackrabbit stuff. So a lot of women hit me up and they got it. But there was a couple of them who I gave to like my boys to use with their ladies. And the reviews, I mean, I had their ladies writing me thank you notes.
I'm about to say, how many baby showers were you invited?
I mean, they were sending me pies for the holidays.
Yep.
It's a game changer.
Coquito?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do the vibrate. A lot of men, oh, I don't need toys. Yes, you do. She's not gonna tell you. I'll tell you.
Point blank.
Some of you guys are boys. Some of you guys are like, no, I never needed toys. But you're driving with your lady right now, and she's playing this episode.
And she's talking.
She's trying. No. Some of them might be quiet. Maybe they're not saying nothing.
Laughing on the inside.
Yeah, they're not saying nothing. They're like, I'm gonna allow Ian and APM to say what I want to say.
The worst is the side eye that you can feel from a mile away. She's just looking at you like,
listen. For everybody who's driving in a car right now, or maybe you're laying in bed and your lady is watching this on YouTube and you're not listening to this and she's trying to get you to listen to it and she's not saying anything, take a hint.
Take a hint, brother.
Get a vibrator and learn the cunnilingus because you suck and you're embarrassing. We can say it because we don't have a thing, you know.
I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, as adults, we can say it, and we've all been there. It's no need to get embarrassed. We've all been there. I mean, I remember going back to college. I've had a girl straight up tell me, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Even worse. Like, trash is one thing, but to not even know what I'm doing, like to not even understand what I'm trying to achieve, that's a different type of.
But then also to have like the mental fortitude to be like, I'm not gonna let this hold me back. I'm gonna get better. Because I've had that "what are you doing" before, and it's just like, damn, like I thought everybody liked the swirl raw.
I mean, you can get better. You can get better. That's a fact. I remember, I mean, I don't want to get crass here. I know this is a family show. A lot of,
children,
a lot of single moms listen to this while they're, when their baby daddy won't pick up the kids.
Yep.
So I don't want to, get too inflammatory here, but I'll tell you a quick story. One time I remember I was dating a girl who, let's just say, it wasn't vibing how it was supposed to vibe. And it wasn't, let's just say, one thing led to another one time, and while we were being physical, I let out a scream of pain to keep it, to keep it PG. I let out a painful, like you're like, I don't know if you ever got your finger stuck in a car door or somebody, stepped on your hand or smacked you in the back of your neck. But it was that kind of audible displeasure. And she was very embarrassed. And she was like, am I doing something wrong? And I had to pretend like, no, it's not you. This is how I scream when I'm enjoying stuff. And she didn't buy it. She knew that something was off. And she was very apologetic about it. She was like, what did I do? Whatever. And I was young and I wasn't ready to have this conversation. So I was just like, no, I thought it was an honest mistake. I'm bleeding, but this could happen. This could happen with anyone. Long story short, about 2 weeks go by. And when I tell you that this girl makes a complete 180, bro, she came back to the point where the next time I had to stop her. And I was like, who taught you this?
Where did you get
because this was not you. And she starts laughing. Cause she knows that she did something. I don't know if it was another guy. I don't know if she took a course. I don't know if it was a TED Talk or it was the, what's that thing where the artists do now where they teach you how to do things?
Masterclass?
She took a master class. I don't know what it was. But when I tell you she went from I'm bleeding, me as a man, to like I thought she was a professional sex worker.
In 2 weeks.
And then when I brought it up, she was laughing.
She laughed.
She was laughing at me in the sense of like, it was like an evil sadistic laugh, like I got your soul.
Yeah.
She did have it.
Woof.
She had it.
Woo.
So I say all that to say this, Isaiah.
He was a soul snatcher?
Don't give up. There is
Dementor?
always room for improvement, and everybody loves a comeback.
Hold on. Shorty turned into a dementor, bro?
Yeah.
That's wild. All right. Yeah. Shout out to Zay.
Great app. Thank you guys for listening. Adulthood Pod, Volume 82. Send us your questions. Phone calls 347-378-9423.
Get your tickets to 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. show.
December 21st is at IanLaraLive.com. Check us out. Adulthood Pod. Peace.